I knew it wasn't going to happen. I mean, the chances of it happening were so small, because historically, what the Electoral College has done for us, it has given us stability. It does inflate the margin of victory in a popular vote, so the electoral victory is much bigger. That's good. It means that we know who our president is. We know who the majority of citizens, as represented by their states, wants to be president. It also makes fraud harder, because you have to be able to predict in advance where stolen votes will matter, okay? Nobody knew in 2000 that 500 whatever stolen votes in Florida would change the outcome of an election. Nobody knew that. If they told you that, they knew they were lying. Now, contrast that with this, now pretend like you can imagine, you think you know. Then everybody else knows too. In Ohio in 2004, people suspected that would be the swing state that really just decided the outcome, and that did provide the appropriate margin. But look, everybody knew, and everybody descended on the state. And so instead of trying to protect our country everywhere, every precinct, the bluest of blue, the reddest of red precincts, you're just narrowing your focus down to one danger spot, danger zone, and everybody focuses and everybody tries. That is easier. I would love to prevent all fraud. That's not going to happen, but we can make it as difficult as humanly possible. So I will run real quick through some problems that I think NPV has in particular, and then I know we will get to more of it later. Look, there's lots of logistical problems created by what John has proposed here. Basically, what he's proposing is that we leave the current system in place, and then we pretend like it is possible to come up with one national vote total from these 51 different processes. Now remember, I said we have 51 purely democratic elections in this country every year. That's 51 sets of election laws. That's 51 different ways to get on the ballot. That's 51 rules about early voting. That's 51 different rules about felons. That's, name whatever it is. There's a whole slew of issues, 51 different ideas of what that should look like. And we're going to take these 51 different processes, and we're going to pretend like it's possible to come up with one coherent answer as to what the national popular vote total is. It's not going to happen. What's going to happen is somebody in Connecticut is going to file a lawsuit if they can figure out which court is the appropriate venue, and they're going to file a lawsuit. And it's going to say, I didn't get as much time to early vote as that person in Massachusetts. That's not fair. I want, this is violating my constitutional rights. And there will be lawsuits, and there will be chaos. What happens when we need a recount? And there are 51 different standards for how to conduct that recount. You thought some different standards in a couple of Florida counties was a problem? Wait until that's nationwide. That's a big, huge problem. You're going to end up with situations where you're going to have states who know that this is the way things go. You're going to see a race to the bottom as people change their laws. They're not going to want to get left out of a recount. They're not going to want their voters to get less time to early vote than other places. They're not going to want any of this stuff. You're going to have a race to the bottom to see who can have the most lenient rules possible in